where I'm Yannis Adoniou, and I'm the artistic director of KUNST-Stoff. It's a dance company that's been in the Bay Area for the past 11 years. We're heading to our 12th home season. So I'm originally from Athens, Greece, and a family that actually I would consider they had a lot of talented social performers. So I grew up with going to a lot of parties within the family, eating lots of good Greek food, and dancing afterwards was part of the thing. So that's a little bit my background before I started actually working with the Western dance techniques, ballet and modern and all that stuff. It was funny when I went actually back to Greece after many years, and I went to the place where my mother is from. That's in Peloponnese. I found out that my great-great-grandfather was actually a performer. His job was to go from what we call it panegyri. This is like a social event where people come together and eat and dance and stuff, and actually he will entertain people as a dancer. At 17, I started doing my first, kind of like dancing, but was kind of inspired through the disco era, and then later on, fast dance came to be, so I was like, okay, I wanna kick legs and all this amazing technical stuff. But anyway, I thought I was the first dancer in the family. I was the first organized dancer. But my father is an amazing social dancer that to this day I admire and all that stuff. And then going a little bit further back in my memory, my father's brother, he's a musician, he plays actually the bouzouki. That is one of the main instruments for Rembetiko, the project that actually we're working as part of the performing Diaspora. When I was 10 years old, I believe, I would go out with my my uncle and experiencing what we call it bouzoukia. This is nightclubs where people would go and sit down and eat and drink and dance and hear traditional Greek music. So, yeah. From that time, I was 10, 11 years old. I will take a cigarette. I would not lit the cigarette. It was very important, but so I can feel a little bit butch. And I would imitate those Greek dances. Great. And then, when I was 17, I moved. I went to Germany, and then I studied my ballet technique. I became a ballet dancer. I came to San Francisco, worked with Alonzo Kingland's ballet. Started working with all these amazing Bay Area artists, and introduced all these different art forms. And now you have what it is, a mixture of everything. Performing Diaspora, it gave me the opportunity to visit that past that I just talked about. When I was 11 years old, a young boy going to tavernas and bouzoukia, and actually allowed myself to dance and be taken by a specific rhythm that, it's the true essence of, I don't know, maybe where I'm from. The true collaboration, music, visual design, and choreography, so we're all coming together, we all actually know and understand each other's forms and backgrounds. So the title is Rembetiko, Dance of Exile, and it is in collaboration with Catherine Clambaneva, is the music director for this project. She's a musician, singer herself. Leonidas Kassapides, he's the shadow master guru. So I'm very excited to be working with someone that does understand, has a clear understanding. And all three of us were Greeks, by the way, and we do live here in the Bay Area. So it's very exciting to find home away from home. The music of Rembetiko is what we have here in the U.S. As the blues, the American blues. It's a music that came of the need of the people to express themselves. Is that a universal theme here? I hope so. And this is also what I'm interested for people to take a look into Greek culture. It's actually very specific. It happened at a very specific time. It has very specific characteristics. But also within to recognize what's going on right now in our lives, and also within different cultures. So it's very exciting to go back home, visit where I came from, see where I am now, what the world's around, and how that all comes together. To feel alive. That's the very, very first thing. I want the viewers to be engaged, to be alive. Second, Secondly, I would like the viewer to take a journey to another culture. Imagine that, you know, it'd be really lovely. And again, as I mentioned back, is to find a way for the viewer to be part of it, to find a part. It's interesting. A lot of Greek people, they don't actually leave Greece. They don't go away because a lot of people go there and visit a lot of tourists. So you have that cultural exchange constantly. So anyway, it's interesting. Just you know, foreigners that go to Greece and other places. You know, I'm talking about Greece because you know that's my experience. But people come in and they feel at home. So something similar. You know, I'm hoping. You know, of course, critical thinking, maybe you know, different ideas, but for a viewer to come in, it's like, oh, actually, I feel home because I relate to it, even I'm not Greek. I think it's a natural wanting to find home, to find place. It's interesting. Personally, I'm here. I'm in the U.S. I'm very far from home because I feel very connected to home. To my family, I don't feel I'm something else. I feel very Greek in my guts, in my blood, and everything. The sense of home, it allows me to go away and discover different things, and maybe one day go home, share that with them. I lived in Germany, now the U.S. Most in Germany, you know, met a lot of Greek people, but actually they had to move from Greece to another country in order to meet, you know, the daily needs to make a better life, and so there was not a choice. So we have that being in another place, being different, feeling different. You know, I wanted to go back and having that battle. Even people, they're Greek and they were born actually in another place, and then they grew up in that place. It's a conflict. It's a serious issue. The truth is, we're all looking for home. It's a search, you know. Even you're within your home, still gonna be looking deeper to find that essence. So I think being exposed to different elements, different ideas, art form can actually guide us to some pathways that the brain can say, oh, actually, this is where I need to be. This is what it means to me. It's a major issue when someone leaves a place of birth or the place where their parents are from, and then they grow up to a different culture and say, okay, where am I? Where do I belong? It's a huge question. So yeah, I mean, most of the people go back home and say, okay, this is where I am. I mean, even myself, you know, I left Greece a long time back, and I love Europe. You know, every time I go to Europe, it's like, oh my God, I close my eyes here where I need to be. I was like, oh my God, but I'm missing this and this and this and this from my life in the U.S. for example. I come back to the U.S. and I'm like, oh my God, immediately I'm missing this and this and this and that. So what I say, you know, home is here. Well, I'm very, very fortunate to be working with artists in this incident with my company, with dancers that really work with KUNST-Stoff and myself, because they really believe in the work that we're doing. So I consider these people part of the project, because the energy they're bringing in daily this is what we're going to be doing. It's kind of interesting that, you know, I'm working with the Rembetiko project, and it's a great and my dancers, you know, 2 of them are from Asia, and 3 of them at this point they are from the U.S. So I'm actually did a big audition to see what kind of dancers, you know, they can actually get that essence of that type of Rembetiko. Rembetiko is a very specific music. The dance that actually goes with it, it's quite improvised, but it has a very clear sense in your guts. So it's not so much about the training, it's about can you feel it. So in a part, actually, my 2 dancers, so they're from Asia, I felt them actually, they had that feeling. And it was interesting, I was talking to Chin, is her name, and I was like, how did that came to be so natural to you? I said, well, because of martial arts. So it was interesting that it's something there that, you know, it's again universal. So I'm very interesting to work with, you know, outside of my 2 key collaborators that they're Greeks, but actually beyond that to work, you know, with a more diverse cast. And even like when I bring singers in, live musicians, they may not necessarily be Greek. So I'm very excited to work with an international and diverse cast of people within that specific project. I think being an artist is the best passport you can have in life. That's the truth. It excuses you for a lot of mistakes, and as well it guides you to unbelievable growth. So yeah, I don't think it's about being famous. It's about actually having access and being able to have a great experience